So we're going to learn now how to do computations with the normal distribution. And we want to go two different ways. We want to be able to take a data value in a normal distribution and compute its percentile. But then we also want to go backwards. We want to take the percentile for a value in a normal distribution and figure out what that actual value is. So first of all, let's look at our input that we need. So if we're going to do a computation, we need a data value that we want the percentile of. Then we need to know the mean of the normal distribution and its standard deviation. And then our output will be the percentile. So if we go to the example that we had in notes with IQ, so we said IQ has a normal distribution, it has a mean of 100, and a standard deviation roughly of 16. So I'm going to start with that. And let me blow this up a little bit so we can see a little better what we're doing. All right. And let's suppose we want to compute the percentile for an individual that has an IQ of 90. So our mean is 100. Our standard deviation is 16. The data value that I want the percentile of is 90. So now I'm going to go ahead and compute the percentile. So we use norm.dist. This is my data value. This is my mean. This is the standard deviation. And the last one is a little complicated to explain, but basically it's asking you whether you want the percentile or not. So we do want the percentile. So I'm going to go ahead and click true. And there we go. So a person that has an IQ of 90 is roughly in the 26.6 percentile. Now I want to show you how this corresponds to the normal distribution. An important concept is the idea that percentiles correspond to areas and tails. So I'm going to go ahead and I want to show you geometrically what this is, okay? So I want the percentage below 90, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and hit recalculate. Whoops, I didn't do that correct, sorry. Recalculate. And here you can see this is graphically what this probability corresponds to. So the area under this whole curve is 1. The percentiles, the probability, the percentile of 90 is the probability I get a randomly chosen value from this distribution less than 90. And roughly there's a 26.6% chance. So this area out of 100% is 26.6%. All right. If I want the upper percentile, remember, I have to specify it. So percentile in Excel, the default is always lower percentile. If I want the upper percentile, okay, I'm going to have to go ahead and subtract 1 from this. There we go. And again, if I went here and clicked above and said 90, you'd see now that roughly 73% of the area would be shaded. And there we go. All right. So we use the norm.dist command when we want to compute the percentile of a data value. But what if I want to go backwards? What if I say, okay, I want to hire somebody and I want that person to be in the top, say, fifth percentile. I want their IQ to be in the top 5th percentile. How do I do that, right? Just reformat that. So now our input is going to be a percentile. And again, we have to specify the mean, the standard deviation. And our output will be the data value. All right. Actually, I'll format it the same as the other one. tidy this up a little bit. There we go. All right. So again, you know, the mean and the standard deviation are the same. I have to enter the percentile. So if I want the upper 5th percentile, I should enter 5, right? And now I'm going to use the norm.inv command. So it says, what is your probability? What is your mean? What is your standard deviation? And notice I get a weird answer. So what went wrong? Well, what went wrong is how I entered the percentile. Okay, so when you enter the percentile, you have to enter it as a decimal. So the 5th percentile would actually be 0.05. Now, if I did this, but that still doesn't look right. So what did I do wrong? I wanted the upper 5th percentile, right? What did I actually get? The lower 5th percentile. So I'm showing you the things that can go wrong. One of the things that can go wrong is you can enter in a percentage rather than the decimal form. And the other is that you might want the upper percentile, but you enter the lower percentile. So here this would actually be equal to 1 minus that. Now this looks okay. I know that if I want someone in the upper 5th percentile, it has to be higher than 100, right? All right. Let's see if I can do this calculation here. Does it let me do this? Let me see. I don't think I can work backwards here. Yeah, unfortunately, I can only compute percentiles. I can't get data values corresponding to certain percentiles. So remember here, for this command, the output, I use norm.dist. Oops. And for the output here, I use norm.inv. Basically, you're going backwards with norm.inv, right? And that's all you have to know to do calculations with a normal distribution. Again, just be careful. Always remember, percentages and percentiles in Excel always refer to the lower tail. So if you want to compute the data value for an upper percentile, or you want to compute an upper percentile, you're going to have to adjust your calculations accordingly.